Ukraine knew Russia was planning a summer offensive, but not where it would start. That became clear on the 10th of May, as Russian forces penetrated the border area north of Ukraine's second-largest city of Kharkiv. They have since grabbed a number of villages not far from the frontier and are trying to push forward as Ukraine's outgunned forces try to shore up a weakened front line. A buffer zone or a deeper push? By entering Vovchansk, only 5 km, 3 miles inside Ukraine, and seizing large areas of Ukrainian territory in the Kharkiv region, Russian forces may be trying to create a buffer zone to fend off Ukraine's own cross-border attacks. Having seen the relatively poor state of Ukraine's defenses, they may also have far more ambitious plans. Russia's Vladimir Putin has for some time talked of setting up some kind of sanitary zone that would protect the southern Belgorod region from drone or missile attack. Belgorod has also proved vulnerable to cross-border incursions by 2 Ukraine-based Russian paramilitaries. Russia could be planning a further cross-border push towards the northern city of Sumy to the northwest. Ukraine's military spy chief Kirilo Budanov believes a small group of forces is waiting there, ready to act. Sergei Shoigu, the new head of Russia's Security Council, has said only that the military is advancing in all directions. That could involve pushing deeper into Ukraine, either to force Kyiv to divert forces from the fiercest front line in the eastern Donbas, or seize increasing amounts of territory. The U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War think tank believes the main aim is to create a buffer zone, as does Russian military analyst Anatoly Matvichuk. But Russian forces are also pushing towards the village of Lipsy, some 20 km from the northern outskirts of Kharkiv, and, in his words, we can practically see the suburbs of Kharkiv through binoculars. Suddenly capturing Ukraine's second biggest city could be in Russian sights. Is Kharkiv at risk? With a pre-war population of 1.4 million, Kharkiv comes behind only Kyiv and Dnipro in its economic importance to Ukraine. It is too close to the border to have sufficient air defense and has repeatedly come under lethal Russian bombardment from ballistic and remodeled anti-aircraft missiles and glide bombs. If Russia could capture it, Matvichuk says it would prove a turning point in the war and hit Ukraine's industrial potential hard. That seems highly unlikely. Ukrainian and Western commentators are convinced Russia does not have the resources to do so. If it took 80,000 Russian troops to capture the devastated eastern city of Avdiivka last February, a much bigger city like Kharkiv would require numbers that Russia does not have. President Volodymyr Zelensky, on a visit to Kharkiv, said the situation in the region was generally under control, although the area remained extremely difficult. The strategic intention of the Russian troops is the encirclement of Kharkiv as a regional center, says Oleksandr Musienko, head of the Center for Military and Political Studies in Kyiv. That way, they would not only create a buffer zone of 10-15 km in depth, he says, but also give Russia the option of attacking Kharkiv later. Ukrainian military blogger Yuri Butusov says too many mistakes were made in defending the border, and now that Russian forces have seen how thinly spread the defenses are, they could try to set up both a buffer zone and a bridgehead to launch deeper into Ukrainian territory. Of course, this is their goal. Russia's focus on the east. For many months, the war has dragged on with Russian forces securing minor gains at great human cost, especially in the eastern region of Donetsk. Jack Watling of the Royal United Services Institute believes the main aim of the summer offensive is the expansion of the Russian push in Donbas, with the aim of cutting supply lines and then giving their forces a route to both north and south. 3 months on from the capture of Avdiivka, the Russian military has set its sights on other targets in the Donetsk region further northwest, including the strategically important hilltop town of Chasiv Yar. Rob Lee of the Foreign Policy Research Institute says Ukrainian troops who were based in Chasiv Yar are thought to have been moved to Kharkiv, leaving Ukraine with fewer units available there. Losing Chasiv Yar would make Ukrainian cities in Donbas even more vulnerable to Russian attack. By forcing Ukraine to commit troops, air defenses, and artillery to the defense of its second city, pressure would also be put on the front line further south, near the Dnipro River, and then threatening the big southeastern city of Zaporizhzhia. Kindly like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments section.